The observation deck of the Vrexian warship. Talon's Edge hummed with the low growl of seasoned hunters reviewing their latest acquisition. Commander Thrask circled the containment cell slowly, his amber eyes fixed on the small, soft-skinned creature sitting cross-legged on the metal floor. "This is the human?" Thrask's voice carried equal parts curiosity and disappointment. "Affirmative, Commander." Designation: Hannah Lauren. Captured from a research outpost on Kepler 442b. The tactical officer tapped her datapad. No visible weapons, no natural armor, no claws or fangs worth mentioning. Thrask's tail flicked in irritation. The Vrexian Empire had heard whispers of humanity's expansion into contested space. Reports spoke of their cunning, their stubborn refusal to yield territory, their strange ability to survive in environments that would kill most species. Yet here sat their prisoner, unremarkable, vulnerable, almost pathetic. "Send in Cub Varak," Thrask ordered. "Let the young one observe what passes for an apex predator in this sector." Cub Varak entered the observation room with the eager stride of youth, his spotted fur still bearing the soft patterns of adolescence. At 14 solar cycles, he had yet to make his first kill, yet to prove himself worthy of the warrior caste. His eyes widened as he saw the human. "She looks weak," Varak observed, pressing his clawed hand against the transparent barrier. "Appearances deceive, Cub," Thrask replied, though his tone suggested he didn't believe his own words. "Watch and learn." Inside the cell, Hannah Lauren stretched and yawned a gesture so casual it bordered on insulting. She noticed her audience and offered a small wave. "You're wasting your time," Hannah called out, her voice calm despite her circumstances. "I'm a civilian xenobiologist. I don't have military codes or strategic information. You have something more valuable," Thrask replied through the intercom. "You have biology. We will study your weaknesses, learn how your species dies, and use that knowledge when we cleanse your colonies from our territory." Hannah nodded slowly, as if considering this. "I see. Well, you should know that humans have one critical weakness." Varak leaned forward, his breath fogging the barrier. "We require comfort to function properly," Hannah continued. "Specifically, we need soft materials to rest our heads. We call them pillows. Without them, we become ... unstable." Thrask's ears flattened. "Is this a joke?" "Deadly serious," Hannah replied, her expression grave. "Check your databases. How many human ships have you encountered with luxury quarters? We can't survive long-term without proper rest environments. It's a species-wide dependency." The commander gestured to his tactical officer, who reluctantly began searching their intelligence archives. Moments later, her expression shifted to confusion. "Commander ... The human vessels we've scanned do show unusually high resource allocation to crew quarters. Multiple layers of fabric, cushioning materials. It's consistent with her claim." Thrask studied the human more carefully. "You're saying your species' military effectiveness is compromised by ... soft materials? Not just military effectiveness, mental stability, physical health, everything." Hannah rubbed her neck with exaggerated discomfort. "I've been on this hard floor for 6 hours. Already I can feel the deterioration beginning." Cub Varak watched, fascinated, as the human demonstrated her supposed distress. She seemed so sincere, so genuinely uncomfortable. His predatory instincts, still developing, detected no deception in her body language. "Commander," Varak spoke up hesitantly, "if this is true, we could use it as a weapon. Deprive human colonists of these pillows, and they'll collapse without a single shot fired." Thrask's tail swayed thoughtfully. The cub showed promise, thinking tactically, seeing opportunities. "Bring her standard sleeping materials from our inventory. Let's observe this weakness firsthand." 20 minutes later, a service drone delivered a Vrexian rest mat firm, heated pad designed for their hardy physiology. Hannah examined it with theatrical disappointment. "This won't work," she sighed. "Too firm. I need something softer, filled with down or synthetic fibers, and I'll need several of them. One for the head, one for between the knees, maybe one to hug ... to hug." Thrask's confusion was palpable. "For psychological comfort during rest cycles. It's essential." Varak watched as the human negotiated for increasingly specific materials, fabric covers, particular densities of filling, even requesting ambient temperature adjustments. Each request was made with such earnest desperation that the Vrexian crew found themselves complying, treating it as a scientific experiment in exploiting human weakness. By the third day, Hana's cell had been transformed. Soft materials covered every surface. She had constructed an elaborate nest of pillows, blankets, and cushions that she referred to as barely adequate for survival. Fascinating, Thrask observed. The human has essentially imprisoned herself in comfort. She barely moves anymore. It was true. Hana spent most of her time burrowed in her soft fortress, emerging only for meals. Varek noticed she seemed happier, more relaxed, often humming to herself. "Commander," the tactical officer reported, "the human stress hormones have decreased by 73%. Her sleep quality has improved dramatically. If this is a weakness, it's remarkably effective at maintaining her health." "Perhaps that's the point," Varek mused. "They've evolved to require comfort because it makes them more efficient when they do act. Like energy conservation." Hana overheard this through the intercom and smiled to herself, burrowing deeper into her pillow mountain. On the 7th day, the Talon's Edge received an urgent transmission. A human fleet had entered the sector, not military vessels, but a diplomatic convoy escorted by a single frigate. "They're demanding the return of Hana Loren," Thrask read from the message. "They're offering substantial resource compensation." The human seemed unsurprised when informed. "Told you we value our comfort." They probably pooled resources from 3 colonies to fund that negotiation. "Why not send warships?" Varek asked. "Because I'm a civilian and they know you haven't harmed me." "Violence would be inefficient." Hana stretched luxuriously in her nest. "Plus, they probably figured you'd underestimate me. Humans are good at being underestimated." Thrask's eyes narrowed. "You've been studying us." "Of course. That's what xenobiologists do." Hana sat up, her demeanor shifting from comfortable captive to scientist. "I've learned your crew rotation schedules, your command structure, the psychological dynamics between you and your cub. I've identified 3 potential weaknesses in your ship's security protocols and 2 exploitable patterns in your decision-making while lying in pillows." Varek's voice held newfound respect. "The best observation happens when your subject thinks you're harmless." Hana stood, leaving her comfort nest behind without hesitation. "Humans don't need pillows to survive, Commander. We just prefer them. But we'll give them up the moment something more important demands our attention." That's the real human trait, adaptability disguised as weakness. As Thrask arranged her transfer to the diplomatic vessel, Cub Varek approached the observation window one last time. "Did you teach me about human weakness or Vrixian arrogance?" he asked quietly. Hana smiled. "Both. That's what makes a good first lesson, Cub. Remember it when you're making your own decisions someday." The human left her mountain of pillows behind, and Varek studied them long after she'd gone. Soft weapons that had conquered through surrender had gathered intelligence through apparent vulnerability. He would remember this lesson. Humans, he now understood, were the most dangerous kind of predator, the kind that made you believe they were prey.